Gang, welcome back to another Level Up video slash podcast. Hope you're doing very well. Today is a topic that I think a lot of new dads, and I think that a lot of just dads in general will really resonate with. That's why I'm going to make it. So if you're not aware, I have a 19-week-old. At some level, I'm just going to call him like 4 or 5 months, right? I don't want him to be like 18 and be like 2,000 weeks old. But you get the gist. I'm a relatively new dad. However, I feel like I am experienced in, number one, building businesses. It's kind of my job. So if you don't know, I build online coaching businesses. So if you're a personal trainer and you want to build your business online, that's me basically. And if you're an expectant dad, you'll be able to resonate with this as well. You'll be able to learn a lot as well, because as a expectant dad, you get told like the horror stories, you get told like the labor stories, you get told pretty much everything shit about being a dad. But I'm going to tell you some positives, so stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, I guess like the main thing that I will talk about here is when you find out that you're going to be a dad, you switch to provide versus I want to earn like $2,000 a month and I'll be absolutely fine. There's a weird little mentality that you go through, and I speak to new dads all the time and dads all the time that are so driven not by money but by the area of provide, and it's only really, it's not just for dads, by the way, it's also for parents, and also for mums as well, especially if you own your own business. This is not exclusive to dads, but you just switch to provide. You almost have like, it's almost like Groundhog Day every single day in order to provide, and it's such a weird change and switch, such a weird mindset. Okay, the initial 9 months of my own journey, as it were, I 4x'd business revenue, and solely because my back was against the wall. Not that my business was in a bad spot, but at the same time, that like flick, that switch, just occurred. And sometimes it's a good thing, right? When you run your business with your back against the wall, you will fight. Okay, and I can resonate. When I left my full-time job, I had to make a certain number in order to put a roof over my head. So you work your fucking tits off in order to do that. And it just so happened that my business started to fucking explode when I started to have that back against the wall mentality. So if you feel like, I don't know, I'm trying everything but nothing's working, don't become a dad. Like, don't do it for that. But at the same time, have a sense of like urgency. I want to leave my job at this time frame, and then have that as the back against the wall. I'm going to build a fucking big business, because you will move very quickly. Now, I've written down 5 things to look at when you are a new dad, or you are a dad and you want to absolutely maximize business revenue. Again, I feel like I'm quite experienced in this anyway, because a lot of my coaches that I deal with are dads. Or parents in general. So number one thing that I'm gonna talk to you about in order to build a business whilst being a father is to hire out. Okay, and this is something that I will speak to a lot of people about. I think that online coaches or PTs in general spend so much time trying to do everything themselves that they have no time to do anything. Okay, so they're almost spinning too many plates, and then they end up smashing. Or the plate spinning themselves, I'm trying to extend this analogy, but the plate spinning in itself is terrible. So the actual output is really poor. You have to get to a point in business where you have to understand what you are terrible at, and you have to fill that hole. I am not really that good at things like video editing. I'm not really that good at graphic design. I'm not very good at copy. I'm okay at copy. I just think I spend too much time on it. So all of these areas, all of these things, I spend a lot of time in, or I suck at. So you have to have the ability of like, right, if I try to do this myself, I'm going to be holding my business back because I'm not very good in that area. Okay. If you went and brought someone in who is an A-star player, they are an absolute don at one thing, at one particular skill set. Okay. By order definition, your business is going to drive forward because they're very good in that area. If you hired a copywriter and they're a much better copywriter than you, your Instagram captions automatically look absolutely outstanding. Your sales letter, your landing pages, your emails, everything looks really fucking good, and you didn't do it. So you didn't spend loads of time on it. Okay, so if you hired out, your business drives forward. It looks fucking fantastic, and at the same time, you've spent time with your family whilst that happens. Okay, you could even go as far as, I'm not very good at sales, right? So you have a look at appointment setters, you have a look at sales closers, like you have a look at a sales team within your business. Okay, so one thing that I would look at, if you're a father, and you want to spend a lot of time with your family, is build a fucking team, and don't build a team that is solely money related, financial related. Build a team that is absolutely in love with your brand. Okay, the people I have in my team are obsessed with that, with TCT. Okay, they want to be a part of a movement, right? Because TCT will be fucking huge. You'll probably be watching this video and you might be backtracking in 2025, for example. I know for a fact that TCT will be the go-to place if you're a personal trainer and you want to build your business online. TCT will be the guys, the people, the team. Okay, I know that for a fact, and the team know that. They know it, right? So they stick with us and they work their absolute tits off. And the things that they produce for me, like I'll name drop Joe, for example. The things that Joe gives back to me is outstanding, like unbelievable. Okay, and that's because he fucking loves TCT. He loves that culture. Okay, so don't just build a team who is just in it for the money. Build a team that's absolutely obsessed with what's going on within the business. Okay, but understand, when I was in that first initial 2 or 3 weeks, understand that I couldn't be that active with certain elements. So you basically hand off workload and then you pick workload back up when you're back, when you're there. Okay, that's the benefit of hiring out a team. Now, are you at the financial situation to do that? Maybe not, but even if you hire help, like a mentor, for example, even if you hire help, you will get to that figure, then you can buy back your time. The whole point in business mentoring, especially in our stuff, or with our stuff, the whole point in that is to get you from where you are now to a decent financial position, and then you can start hiring people and then you can start driving up. Our goal isn't to zap everyone's money. Our goal is to build and drive your business. It's why our ROI is so fucking high. Okay, so that's point number one. By the way, I'll link it back, just one more thing, and then I'll go into point 2. Would you buy a piece of meat from a butcher's or a supermarket? Even though they're from the same cow, they're the exact same meats, you'd buy it from a butcher. Why? Is because all they do is that one skill set. So it's the same thing with hiring out a team. If all they do is one clear skill set, they're going to be better, or even if you perceive it to be better than the Tesco's, the Sainsbury's, the Aldi meat. Okay, so that's how I like to analogize building out a team. Right. So understand point 2. Understand that 100% is 100%, even if it's you running at 40%. Now, I'm not gonna lie, being a parent, some days you're going to have a lack of energy. Like today, actually, I woke up and I was pretty zapped. This is probably gonna be, bar some calls I've got in a second, it's probably going to be all I can really do from a business admin marketing aspect. Okay, and that's not putting any what would be the word, excuses on it. That's just saying that some days you're going to wake up and you're going to have a lack of energy because you have a lack of sleep. Okay, so just be hyper aware that some days are gonna be tough, but remember why you're doing it. Okay, like I have a picture of my son Max sitting right here, and every time I feel a bit like I'll look at it and be like, that's why I'm doing it. At the same time, it's hard. Okay, so building a business is hard when you're a new dad, when you're a parent in general. Okay, just understand that. You're not going to have as much energy as a 18-year-old who is fucking brand new into this, hungry as fuck. You're not going to have that amount of energy. But at the same time, again, if you revert back to point one, even if you have areas and days where you are lackluster, you can offset a certain element to drive your business forward. Okay, so just remember that. That's obviously another benefit of number one. Number three is try to enjoy it. Like, this is the main thing that I'll talk to my guys about is, yes, like some days it's really hard. Some days you have a lack of energy, but at the same time, like, you're only going to be doing this, especially if you're a new dad, you're only going to be doing this a few times, depending on how many kids you want. Some people it's just a one-time thing. Some people want 10. But understand, even if it is 10, right, and your partner, if you're watching this and your partner's nearby, yeah, she'll probably tell you to fuck off. But I mean, some mums want that, and that's fine. But understand, even if it is 10, it's still a very short time frame, right? Doing that 10 times in your whole entire lifetime is still a short time frame. If you do it once, even shorter. So try to enjoy this here, okay? I think that sometimes as a business owner, you can have your head buried in the sand and you're just like almost like driving yourself into the sand, only looking at the business from a very, very microscopic standpoint. Well, what I would do is often take a step back and establish, right, okay, this is fucking cool. Like, look around, what's going on? Okay. So always have a bird's eye view at some point, and that will enable you to enjoy it a little bit more, even if it's taking your family away. Like, I've just got back from a trip from Marbella, and it was exactly what I needed at that point in time. Okay. Because I have almost taken myself to a place where I'm like, fucking hell, this is all worth it. I basically paid for this. Our business has paid for this. This is fucking great. All right. And then I actually get to enjoy family time as well. Okay. And again, because of number one, the business still moves forward. Right. Number four, try to stay accountable. Big thing. If you say you're going to do something, have someone hold your hand and hold you to it. Like, have someone even if it's your partner, say, I'm going to do this, and it's going to be at this time frame, right? I kind of mentioned back there about like when your back is against the wall, you fight. If you're saying, I don't know, it's September now, and I have 3-4 months of the year. Was it 3? Holy shit, yeah. 3 months of the year, and I want to make X amount of revenue, right? Tell that to someone, right? Again, it's one of the big reasons why a lot of our agency workers, people are earning like 10 to 15 grand a month. It's one of the big reasons why they reach out to us, because they're like, I have this financial goal and I want to hit it by here. Number one, can you help me? Yes. But number two, can you keep me accountable to it? Can you call me out on my bullshit? Like, if I have a week where I haven't done anything, call me out. Okay? And it's the reason why a lot of our guys are so successful, is because they're like, I tell them off. I'm their business dad. I will tell them off for not doing shit. If they say they're going to do something, I'm there, not being like, it's okay, I'll stroke your head. No, like, pick it up. This is your goal. Go and do it. Okay? And again, one of the big reasons why we have such a large ROI here is quite simply, we will hold your hand. We will basically, again, be your business dad. Like, that's the best way I can put it. We'll call you out on your bullshit as well. We'll be nice about it sometimes. But yeah, point number 5. Rely on a lead flow campaign that is not necessarily reliant on time. And what I mean by that is potentially look at paid ads. Something that I've gone very, very hard on in the last 9 months is paid ads. And it's not saying that paid ads is the savior of your business, because I think without certain SOPs in place, organic wise, paid ads is a very expensive way to drive eyes onto your page for no reward at all. But I think if you are a new or expectant dad, or just a father in general, and you lack time, you have to have the ability to generate consistent leads without being on your phone the whole entire day. And that could be a paid ads method. Our cost per lead on average here, depending on the type of campaign that we're running, but very generally, if you're trying to get someone onto your email list, for example, onto a book call in the back end email sequence, it's probably about £2 to £3 a lead. That's where you're looking. So every single day, you could wake up to like 10 to 15 highly qualified leads, okay, all looking to book on, because at the back end system they're trying to book on sales calls, right? Without you spending ages and ages and ages in the DMs trying to nurture them, right? So that's what you could do, right? And if you want to learn how to do the lead flow campaign, the reach out on Instagram, the Coaches Trainer, and I'll show you a few bits. But yeah, like they're the main things, the main 5 things I'll talk about as being a new dad. But number 1, it's a weird feeling. You switch to provide. Number 2, I think there's a big narrative that you can't build a big business when you're a new dad. I will say the opposite. In my experience, you do the opposite thing, okay? I will say hire out. I will say give yourself a break sometimes. Like, understand that energy levels are not going to be fantastic all the time. So that's another thing. Try to enjoy it. Try to stay accountable. And then potentially look more towards the paid ads route in order to buy back your time. Okay, so yeah, that's building a business as a new dad. Again, a lot of people will just say you can't do it. I will say prove them wrong.